This is KTVB, Idaho's news channel. Now, live, Carolyn Holly, Jerry May, Rick Lance with weather, Larry Manili on sports. This is the News Center 7 Night Report.
Good evening. An investigation into the shooting of several dogs remains a mystery tonight despite several leads.
As News Center 7 first told you, the bodies of as many as 7 dogs were found fatally shot and left in a field north of Star. Well, since then, the Humane Society, their investigators, have been working to find those responsible.
For an update on this investigation, we're going to go live to the newsroom and Nightly reporter Mark Mathis.
Well, Carolyn and Jerry, largely because of that story, the Humane Society has gotten a number of calls, and some have been of help. But today, investigators went back to the scene hoping to learn more. A warning, some of the video is graphic. For Tyler Manning and his partner, it's a gruesome job. They're here to recover the remains of 3 dogs killed and left in the snow.
All the way.
Okay.
The question is, who could have done this? The result is obvious.
He was shot in the head, and then they either threw a rock on him or kicked him and broke his nose and mangled him up a little bit.
The dogs were found 2 weeks ago by this man. Doug Jensen talked with News Center 7 a few days ago. He says he's seen as many as 7 carcasses here since August, enough that he thought someone should know.
It's just insane. There's no reason for it.
And now, as authorities continue to piece together the evidence, they confirm 2 of the dogs were shot. They've recovered a .44 caliber bullet and have some leads, but it may not be enough. They still don't know who the dogs belong to.
Most people that dump animals don't leave collars on the dogs or licenses or anything. So all we have is a dead dog that belonged to somebody.
Not much to go on.
Not a whole lot at all.
He got hit by a car.
I don't know what happened to him.
So with the mystery still unsolved, they clean up and reflect on what can only be called a needless loss. And it may surprise you to learn that in Idaho, it is legal to shoot a dog as long as it's done in a swift and humane manner. So even if they do find the person or persons responsible, it will be hard to prosecute on any criminal charges. What they really need is a witness to prove any animal cruelty. So they're really hoping to find the dog's owner, because the owner could then take civil action for theft. Carolyn, Jerry?
Well, thank you. Media coverage might help in that. Other news tonight, dozens of students walked out of class at Meridian High School today. The students say they are upset that one of their teachers, Susan Goff, has been put on probation. It is an issue that school officials will confirm, but because of confidentiality, they won't explain exactly why it happened. Some students have their own speculations.
We're here. We want to know.
They don't stand behind the way she teaches. The way she teaches is how we can learn, and how we have fun doing it. And ever since she's had to change, no one's learned crap.
It's totally wrong. They took away the fun Miss Goff used to make teaching.
The Meridian High principal says this probationary period is basically a time for Goff to improve, not an attempt to oust a teacher. Students we spoke with today say they do not plan to return to class if this probation continues.
Micron's Boise employees played a big part in eliminating the city from the company's expansion shortlist. Micron spokesperson Kip Bedard says the site selection committee asked employees where they thought the expansion should go. Bedard says 70% wanted the expansion away from Boise. The employees said they were afraid for their own quality of life in a rapidly growing city.
And I think it's taken everybody by surprise a little bit, I suppose. And I think we all need time to adjust to that. And so I think moving the site somewhere else will certainly allow us to catch up the infrastructure to keep the community really as good as it's always been.
Boise business leaders say they've learned a lot from the failed attempt to lure Micron. They said they'll be better prepared next time.
And Idaho's neighboring state of Utah has a 1 in 3 chance of being selected for Micron's proposed expansion.
The engineering programs offered at the state's 3 major universities rank among the best in the country. And News Center 7's Jerry Jones spent the day in Utah, and he brings us this report.
Students at Brigham Young University cheered the news that their university community has a place on Micron's newest shortlist. BYU occupies a huge campus central in location to the sites now under consideration by the computer chip giant.
I think it would also help the area itself, I think that Utah County a lot of time is just kind of a university town. I mean, granted, Word Perfect's down the street, but that's just, I mean, it is just a university town.
The news of a possible Micron expansion here in Utah has been overshadowed throughout most of the day. Even here in Salt Lake City, the snow has been coming down hard and fast. But Utah's development team describes even that as a plus.
You can be anywhere along the Wasatch Front in a half an hour. You can be in the mountains skiing. We have great lakes and great golf courses. We have just a wonderful quality of life, and we want to be able to maintain that.
In Salt Lake City, the University of Utah offers undergraduate and graduate engineering programs just as BYU does. Students who can't or who don't want to complete a 4-year program can choose 2-year technical programs at Utah Valley State College. And ever since the departure of the Signetics company, people in Utah County are hungry for better employment opportunities.
We've got probably somewhere between 200 or 300 people who used to work at Signetics who are probably underemployed in the Utah Valley area who could move right into Micron and not ever skip a beat.
6 sites in Utah County have been identified in Lehigh, Linden, and Payson. Micron's potential arrival could turn the university community into a mini Silicon Valley. Jerry Jones, News Center 7.
And Jerry adds that Utah's Economic Development Director says tonight that as far as he knows, none of the 6 prospective sites in Utah has a clear-cut advantage over the others.
Governor Batt says he'll pay for the roof over his head. The governor says he does not support building a governor's mansion. The governor removed himself from a land board meeting this morning when a proposed governor's mansion took center stage. The governor says he doesn't want to play any part in discussions about the issue.
A very large edifice built for a governor's residence. I have been criticized because of the indication that that something should be furnished. I am no longer taking that position. I'm going to pay strictly for my own housing. I'm not going to accept any allowance, and they can do whatever they wish, but it's not going to be my decision.
Batt declined to say whether he'd live in the mansion if it was built. It's called an active and progressive new approach to dealing with juvenile offenders in Ada County. Juvenile Court Judge John Velo, along with Art Dodson, the Director of Juvenile Court Services, have unveiled Teams. That's teens encouraged by adult mentors. Judge Velo says most juvenile offenders lack a positive adult influence in their lives. The program aims to link troubled teens with adult volunteers as positive role models. Team coordinators will recruit volunteers at local companies.
In the O.J. Simpson trial today, a battle over police handling of the double murder scene. The police supervisor who responded to the scene faced a tough cross-examination, and the defense pressed the first officer on the scene as to why he did not preserve ice cream that was inside Nicole Simpson's condo. Simpson's lawyers are trying to show that a melting cup of ice cream inside Nicole Simpson's condo means the murders happened later than prosecutors have alleged, thereby helping Simpson's alibi that he was on an airplane out of town. Prosecutor Marcia Clark countered this way.
Do you have any way of knowing how frozen it was when it was purchased?
No.
Do you know whether it was yogurt or ice cream?
No, I don't.
Could you tell by looking at it?
No.
Do you know whether Nicole Brown put it into the freezer when she got home and took it out just before she went outside and was attacked?
No.
Officer Robert Risky and his supervisor David Rossi withstood a grilling by F. Lee Bailey, saying they were careful not to disturb evidence. Tomorrow, more police officers are expected to take the stand for the people, then face a grilling from Bailey.
On the Night Digest, House Republicans have ignored a veto threat from President Clinton and passed the final and most controversial part of their 6-part crime legislation. It dismantles last year's Democratic crime bill that paid for more police and crime prevention programs. In its place, Republicans would set up a $10 billion block grant that cities could spend however they see fit to fight crime.
Maybe they don't need policemen. Maybe they want technological help. Maybe computers are what they need. Maybe prosecutors. Maybe jails.
GOP senators vow to make changes to the bill so that President Clinton will feel compelled to sign them into law.
Well, there is a full-scale alert for terrorist attacks on Wall Street. Police say terrorists have ordered a strike at the heart of American capitalism. Uniformed officers are guarding stock exchange officials. Plainclothes officers are working the financial district. And police are stopping workers and delivery trucks before they enter the stock exchange. A report says that terrorists want to strike by early next month in retaliation for the murder conspiracy trial of Sheikh Omar Abdelrahman and 10 others in New York.
Okay, put down those Valentine chocolates. Cholesterol tests, it's now reported, have a wide range of inaccuracy to them. Some people who think they're safe may not be. And some of the millions of people whose test results put them on medication or special diets to reduce cholesterol may be fine. Officials now say you should have several cholesterol tests done at clinics or hospitals and take the average finding before you take any medical action.
And you couldn't have waited until tomorrow to tell us that after we had the chocolate in us for 24 hours.
Before you open that box, maybe. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Well, the Oscar nominations are in, and one film came out the big winner. We'll tell you which film is expected to clean up at this year's Academy Awards.
And it's a spinoff with real staying power. John Miller takes us behind the scenes of Frasier.
If you want a lot, but you don't want to spend a lot, now your Lincoln Mercury dealer has some great news for you.
Starting at under $15,000, the all-new Mercury Mystique gives you loads of extras. Front-wheel drive, dual airbags, 12 standard features not available on competitive models. Plus, available anti-lock brakes and all-speed traction control provide better handling on slick winter roads. Mercury Mystique definitely gives you more car for your money.
So don't just sit there. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer now.
Believe it or not, all tire warranties are not the same. Only Big O offers you this complete warranty on every Big O brand tire. Free valve stem, free balancing, free rotation, free flap repair, and most importantly, full, not prorated, but free full road hazard replacement till the tread is legally worn out. The Big O brand tire warranty. Just another reason why more people are going to Big O Tire, with a reputation you can ride on.
America the Beautiful Dreamer and America's Futon Store is celebrating President's Day with a sale. The Chadwick Cherry 4-poster bed is just $6.99, and this bunk bed separates into twin beds now just $4.49, or a twin platform bed only $1.99 or $2.49 for a fuller queen bed. Check out the new Canyon frame in solid oak or this full-size pine Malibu frame and futon with free cover and coffee table, only $3.49. It's our President's Day sale at America the Beautiful Dreamer and America's Futon Store, Upper Level, Boise Town Square, on sale now through Monday.
The values just keep on trucking. February is Truck Month at Dan Wiebold Ford in Nampa. This month, Dan has 40 razor-sharp F-150s. Choose from short or long box. Over half are sport package with 6-cylinder standard transmission, chrome wheels and bumpers, special edition paint, plus free air conditioning for only $13,995. 4x4s only $16,995. With these low prices and the best service in the Valley, you want to cut a believable Wiebold deal at Dan Wiebold Ford in Nampa.
Oscar nominations are out, and as expected, Forrest Gump tops the list with 13 nominations. No surprise, Gump is up for Best Picture, along with Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, The Shawshank Redemption, and 4 Weddings and a Funeral. As for Best Actor, Tom Hanks has been nominated for Forrest Gump. John Travolta got his nomination for Pulp Fiction. Paul Newman is up for Nobody's Fool. Morgan Freeman got the nod for The Shawshank Redemption. And Nigel Hawthorne is nominated for The Madness of King George. Now, Best Actress, 2-time Oscar winner Jodie Foster has been honored for Nell. Other nominees include Susan Sarandon for The Client, Jessica Lange, Blue Sky, Miranda Richardson, Tom and Viv, and Winona Ryder for Little Women.
You know, a few years ago, you would have found Frasier Crane sipping drinks and spilling his psychology at Cheers, but now he has moved into a new apartment and a new sitcom.
Yes, and he has become a big hit fast, and it's top #2 on News Center 7's John Miller's visit behind the scenes of NBC comedy.
Don't stare at me, Eddie. I'm a humane man, but right now I could kick a kitten through an electric fan.
Lines like that have made even Eddie the dog famous. The Seattle setting of Frasier is a world away from Boston and a bar called Cheers. Strangely, both worlds evolved in the same place, Paramount Stage 25. When Cheers moved out, Frasier moved in and moved right up in the ratings.
I think Frasier's a popular character because he's flawed.
The person who has your car keys asked you to meet him here knowing you'd bring your car?
My car happens to be moving down the street.
but he's got a good heart, and he keeps trying. So he keeps getting up, falling down, getting up, and falling down.
Welcome to Fraser Crane's living room, a refreshing change, he says, from the bar and Cheers, although that famous bartender will soon be a guest in Fraser's house.